Miss Di here from Diane, and today I'm going to show you how I made these beautiful cards that look like cardigans. This is using the new set from Stampin' Up, which is in the mini catalogue, so which runs from the 5th of January until the 30th of June, and this is called Handsomely Suited, or the bundle is called Well Suited. I haven't used half of the things in here yet, but it's got some beautiful dies, so you can make a shirt or a suit or ties and bow ties. But we're only going to be using this V-shaped die today, along with the collar here. So they're the only two dies we're going to be using, and we're going to be using the Happy Birthday to You. I'm also going to be using the Absolutely Argyle 3D embossing folder, which is in the annual catalogue. So I've done a bit of the work, as you know, because I'm not going to bring the big shot in and it won't fit through the small one. So we will do it like this. Ooh. And this one I did originally, the neckline here, this neck piece was so long it looks really weird. It looks like this person's got a really long neck. So when I did this one for a lady's cardigan, I was really happy with the way that neckline turned out. So we're going to do this kind of neckline on this one. And I can't use this embossing folder because this embossing folder is retired, but this one here is called cable knit. So I will show you what we're going to be using and we'll work from there. So there's not a real lot to this card, believe it or not. I'm using a card blank that measures 11 3/4 by 4 1/8, and for my, oops, let's turn them over. For the front of my card, I'm going to use a basic grey layer that measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. Then I'm going to use my smoky slate layer for my cardigan front, which is this one here. So what I've done is you leave about 2 inches down the bottom here, so that when we put the band on, it gives you that area to put your buttons in, which I've got here. These are not Stampin' Up buttons, but I've got 3 buttons that I actually coloured because they were green actually. So I didn't have any grey buttons. So I measured down about 2 inches and I just put a mark, as you can see it on that piece of card which came out of there, and then pop this in so that it was roughly in the middle. It's a little bit over, but you know, who puts a jumper on straight if you're a man? Anyway, so but I will show you how that's done. So we've cut that out with the V, and then we will need for our shirt piece, which is, this is out of the Wells Dressed Designer Series paper, which is part of the bundle for the Well Suited stamp set, and the other side is really beautiful. Makes a lovely, it would make a lovely tie, but we're not going to do a tie today. So this piece here, sorry for rambling, this piece here, sorry, measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. Then the shirt piece measures 3 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and then the collar, which I've already done here, I've cut it out already. This measures 3 inches by 1 1/2 inches. Then for my neckline, we need a piece that measures 1 inch by 2 1/2 inches. For my cardigan bands, these just are 1/2 inch and 8 1/4 inches long. You won't need all that much, but it's better to have a bit more so that you can measure it up down the front here much better. For the insert, you need 2 layers. One I've done in the basic grey, which is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and then my top layer, which is 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. So let's pop all of them on the one side, and let's start. Let's move those buttons out of the way. They can just sit in the corner there for now. Okay, so all we need is our scoreboard, and we're going to score this on the long side at 5 7/8 of an inch, and that's all the scoring we're going to do. So, oh, I forgot to tell you, all need a little bit of ribbon. So I have my Misty Moonlight ribbon. I know it's not the same colour as what's on there, but it goes really nicely with it. I put it on there and I was really happy, so I thought, well, we will use Misty Moonlight. Okay, what's that? Rubbish. If you hear snoring, it's my dog. She's laying at my feet. Okay, so that's our card base done. So what we're going to do first is we're actually going to cut our neckline. So out of our piece of, and this is sort of like, I don't know what colour this is. I think this is, I don't know, petal pink, I think that is. Okay, so out of our pieces like this, I've got my 2-inch circle punch, because we don't need a big circle. So we're going to pop this in here so that we can cut out our neckline. So let's pop him in there, and then we're just going to cut him out. I don't know where, there we go. There's the other piece on the floor. And then we're going to just glue this onto our piece of designer series paper, roughly in the middle, like so. Oops. And making sure it is buttered up right up to the top edge there, like that, because we don't want the edge of the shirt showing through on the other side. Okay, so as I say, we've already cut this out and embossed this using the Absolute Argyle, which you can actually see on there. So we're now going to glue this onto the back of our piece here, like so. So I'm going to just run a bit of glue down the one side here and along the bottom, and I will line this up over the top, again making sure that the top of the card, is level with the top of the designer series paper. By doing that, which that isn't, you will make sure that everything layers on there nice and neatly. There we go, put that back over there. Now this size piece of paper, if you've decided that you're going to make your cardigan come all the way down to the bottom, you will need to adjust the length of this piece of the shirting here. So once we've done that, now we will put our bands onto the front of our card. Now for me, I like to just lay my band on here, and what I did is I actually cut my band, there goes my phone, on an angle so that it was sort of like a V on the bottom. So that was just me, but I found that to be about the best way I could get the angle I wanted. And then when I put the other one on top, I could V it the other way. Oh, let's lose this one here, and I could V that the opposite way then. I'll turn that over. Don't like that raw edge looking. Oops. I can't get that on there. I'm going to pop this one on first. Okay, so I'm going to start by popping this one on first, because I'm having trouble trying to hold the two at the same time. So I'm just going to pop this one onto the front of the card, trying to, and I've done it around the wrong way. That's the problem. That's my problem. I've got it around the wrong way, that way, I think. I can't remember now. Oh no, I had it the right way. That's correct. Oh dearie me, I'm really having a good day today, aren't I? It's the first week in February, so that's the reason why. So we're going to pop that one on. I've just overlapped it a bit so that you don't see the edge of the shirt, of this cut line here. And once you're happy with that, we can then pop the other one on. If it fits on this side, you can use that one. And it will, because this one will go down the middle here like so. Okay, so we'll pop the glue on the back of this one. And this is the bit that's just sort of more of a less working out how you want it. So I've just pushed it together so that this piece of band in here actually matches up with it. And once I'm happy with that, let's just pop that up a bit, move it up a tiny bit more, and bring that in on that side. That's that, and I'm happy with that. Move that over a tiny bit more on this edge. There we go. So once I'm happy with that, I can smooth that down nicely and then just trim off these excess pieces across the top. It's easier to do it that way, and you know that you've got it in line. As I say, I managed to get the 2 pieces out of the 8 1/4 pieces, so that's fine. And then the other piece I'm going to pop down the middle like so. I'll pop it down from about here, I think, so that you can see the overlap a bit there. So I will actually just put my glue down the front of my cardigan here and place my piece of, that looks a bit of a neater edge on the edge, on here. And once I'm happy with that, he can then sit down nice and neatly on there, and we can trim off the excess. Okay, pop that on one side. Now that might look a bit strange at the moment, but we're going to put our buttons over it and our neck on there and everything, so it's not going to look funny, but we will get this onto the front of the piece of our oh gosh, I can't think what colour it is now, basic grey layer. I'm just stressing with this move of ours, so sorry if I'm a bit flustered at the present time. I'm going to place that over the top of that layer, and once I'm happy with that, it can then go onto that piece is just rubbish, so they go in the bin. This can now go onto the front of our card as like so. At the present time it doesn't look fantastic, I must admit, but it will once we're finished. So now we're going to take our collar and we're going to pop some dimensions on the back of the collar here, just one of these large ones or 2 smaller ones, and pop our collar onto our shirt. Okay, so get off my finger. Once you're happy with the collar, now it doesn't matter if the collar shows a little bit below, the neckline shows a little bit below the collar, because we are going to put a ribbon on there, so it's not going to show it. If you were happy with that, you would have to make this piece here a bit smaller. So I'm going to bring in my ribbon and I'm going to tie myself a nice bow so that it looks like a, a man's western shirt, I think they call them, like when you see them in the movies, in the saloon. And that's going to sit in there. Oh, that bow's not very nice, is it? Come on, let's go get this on here. Oh, come on. There we go. So once we're happy with that, we'll cut off our end and we'll pop, oh, this one's a bit of a long one too, isn't it? I did do that a bit long, but never mind. I will find a reason to use that. So I'll bring this over on top of this one and then cut those at a nice angle, the pair of them. There we go. And we'll bring in a nice glue dot to put on the front of our card. Oh, back of our bow. Oh gosh, and pop that onto the front of our card like so. There we go. He's got this beautiful bow on the front of his. We're now going to pop our buttons on, and again, once again, I'm going to pop these onto glue dots. So I'm going to start with one at the top. Now it's up to you if you want 1, 2 or 3 buttons. I'm going to put the 3 buttons on because I just think it looks right with 3 buttons on the front. And there's my 3 buttons on the front of my card. So now we're going to just work on our inside of our card. So let's move this out of the way. And we're going to just stamp. I'm just going to stamp in basic grey here. And I'm just going to put happy birthday to you inside. I'm not going to put any fancy bits and pieces on the inside. I just want it as plain as can be. But that's just me, because then I've got it for any kind of mail. Now that was really clever too, wasn't it? I tell you, I'm really not having a good day here, am I? I think this label might be on a bit wonky. He's going to have to stay wonky now. So, let's see. Oh, that one's wonkier, so we'll stay with this side. It just goes to prove that I'm no different to anybody else. I can make mistakes. I can do things a bit wonky, and that's just the way they go. This one goes on the inside of our card. Let's get rid of that bit of gook and pop this on the inside of the card like so. And there we have it. There we got our nice man's card with the shirt bow at the top. Here's the ladies one, and there's the one with the bow tie, which is out of the set here. This bow tie is this piece and this piece here. Oops, you can't see me. This piece and this piece here. So I will be hopefully using this to make another card in the near future. But this is my card for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please leave me a thumbs up. I'm sorry about all the bumbling and mumbling around here today. I'm sort of in the process of moving from one house to another. I'm taking all the boxes and stuff myself, but I'm having a removalist come in to do the main furniture, and then someone to come in and clean the house, you know, like the carpets and everything. So organising all of that has been a hassle at the present time. But anyway, that's my card for today. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.